So you want to put titles in your video. We'll use Adobe Premiere Pro as a base and compare and contrast with the functions of Final Cut Pro and Davinci Resolve. Let's start with Adobe Premiere Pro. The text tool can be found in the toolbar next to the timeline. If you click on the text tool in your toolbox and then click on the viewer window, you'll find that nothing happens. Premiere requires pre-recorded video in the timeline before any text can be added. Final Cut Pro and Davinci Resolve don't have this problem. For Final Cut Pro, one part of the title, the style or generator that is used, is found up here. Before making your title, you must pick from one of these options. I decided to go with Basic Title since it allows for the most editing. Davinci requires you to go through a list of generators as well, in the same place as Final Cut Pro. So you've got stuff in your Premiere timeline. If you want to put your title on a blank screen, just click on your footage and drag it. And voila! You have a blank screen. To put text on the screen, move on over to the text tool and click it. After that, just move on up to the viewer window and click. Within that red box will be the text you type in. When you have a text box and some text, the layers for those two things will appear in the timeline. The graphic layer, and the layer for the text you typed in for that graphic. If you want to make a copy of your titles, there's a few ways you can do it. One way you can make a copy is by holding down the Option key and dragging the title. Obviously, we failed. For Premiere, you have to press the Option key before holding it down. Another way to do it is, assuming you have the layer selected, click Command-C and then Command-V. When you click Command-V, your selection will copy to wherever your playhead is. You have to be careful with Premiere though. If your playhead is not in the right spot, and you attempt to Command-C and Command-V over to a different part of the timeline, you'll wind up copying over existing footage. Your copied layer won't just appear on the shelf above your footage. Let's head on over to the Workspace bar and click on Graphics. Welcome to the Graphics panel. Assuming you have a graphic selected in your timeline, this is what you will see. Horizontal and vertical centering will get your text in the exact center of the screen, like the professionals do. Depending on your title needs, you'll want to acquaint yourself with the other Align and Transform tools. Now, let's adjust the size of your title. Just go down here and mess with the dial. Alright, let's see if I can manually get back to 100. I cannot, so I'll just click here and type it in. Final Cut Pro and Davinci Resolve have what is called an inspector window in that same space. For Davinci, you need to go to the Editing tab and so on to find it. You know what? I'm tired of this font. Premiere and Final Cut have a good selection of pre-made fonts and samples for said fonts. I'll just choose Onyx, my favorite font. It's really... And they don't have Onyx. That's fine, I guess. It's not like I can't just import fonts into Premiere. The version on my laptop has it. You know what? I'll just check Resolve. I've sort of warmed up to this program. Maybe they'll have... They don't. Why don't they have my Onyx font? I mean, surely Final Cut Pro would have... They don't have it. How dare they not have my Onyx font? So you've picked out your font. Let's color it. Clicking on the Fill button will bring you to your color picker tool. Moving this little circle here will change the various color frequencies of your text, each of which can be adjusted manually. Unfortunately, Premiere does not show how the color affects your text until after you click OK in the color picker. The color picker for Final Cut and Resolve, on the other hand, does. Depending on what version of Final Cut and Resolve you're using, they even use the same color picking software. Each variation of the color picker offers a variety of options. Now we're on to the last segment, the drop shadow, the shadow effect that your title could have. The effects of a drop shadow on your credits can best be seen against a background. There's a few different ways to adjust the drop shadow. There's opacity, the transparency of the shadow. There's the angle, the distance, the size, and the blur. That's about it for the basics. You should have the tools necessary now to make a good title.